maybe we'll just go right into the let's go right into the Gemara, just as because we're on it now, and then if there's time towards the end, maybe we'll do some Talmud Torah then, because I want to just get into some Gemara. Okay, so we started off yesterday. We saw the Gemara on Daf Kuf Yudam Abayz that tells us at the ניתנה we're talking to Moshe Rabbeinu, and they were trying to, the Gemara was trying to find the makar that Bas comes after Ben Kodem Labas. The question is, how do we know that? So one of the suggestions was that the ניתנה, their word, they're talking to Moshe Rabbeinu, and they said, Ein lo Ben. So, Ein lo Ben, mashma that if there was a Ben, so then Ben would get first. The Gemara says, how can we learn anything from ניתנה? ניתנה Torah, ונתחחדשה halacha. And therefore, what does that mean? Something to the effect that we don't know yet. Something to the effect that we can't learn something from before the time the Torah was given. So, and we noted that doesn't really mean literally in that Gemara, because after all, the whole story took place after Matan Torah. We're talking to Moshe Rabbeinu in year 40 in the desert. So Matan Torah was 40 years earlier. So what does that mean? That's the Rashbam. The Rashbam says that it means that Moshe Rabbeinu didn't give over this portion of Torah until afterwards. So when they asked Moshe Rabbeinu, that was before the Bnei Yisrael had this Torah. So therefore, you can't learn from there. But here it's mentioned as a question. Again, one of two places in Shas where this comes up. We'll see the other one a little bit later. We haven't seen it already. The Rambam uses this in a context where the Gemara does not. That's the Rambam in Hilchos Avel, in Perek Aleph, Halacha Aleph, where the Rambam says, to remind me, that the mitzvah of Avelus is only one day, a day of death and day of burial. But what about the brothers? This is a pasuk in Chumash. Parshas Vayechi, it says the brothers sat Shiva for 7 days. You don't get a better marker than that, right? It says in the Torah, the Din Daraisa. The Rambam says, no, ניתנה Torah, ונתחחדשה halacha. Can't learn from that pasuk. Where does he get that from? That's not 100% clear. The Kesef Mishnah does not say, but it's nowhere in Shas Bavli. But the Achronim say maybe that's Shas Yerushalmi. Gemara in the Yerushalmi sources from the Yerushalmi. If there's no Bavli that contradicts it. Yeah. Naftali, you have a question? No. I have a whole sefer at on the shelf here that the problems with the Rambam, with the sources the Rambam are, and they say it's how the Meiri reads the Gemara based on Yerushalmi. That's many times how on the Rambam. Okay, but anyway, so this is Yerushalmi. Yerushalmi, I gave you the picture of Yerushalmi in Moed Katan and Perek Gimel. Yerushalmi asks, how do you know Avelus Midaraisa? Again, remember, some Rishonim reject the whole Gemara. All Avelus is D'Rabbanan, Ali Tosos. But ask the Gemara, you know Avelus Midaraisa? It says the Gemara, our pasuk. Vayas Lav Evel Shivas Yamim. Ask the Gemara, L'meidim Davar Mikodem Matan Torah. Are we allowed to learn something from the Shvatim before Matan Torah? How is that allowed? So the Rambam understands this line. He puts together this line in the Yerushalmi with our line in the Bavli. That's what the Rambam did. It does not say ניתנה Torah, but it's ניתחחדשה halacha in the context of Avelus anywhere. The ניתנה Torah line is in the Bavli. The Avelus line is in the Yerushalmi. The Rambam put the two together. The Rambam says, did you learn from Shvatim? No, ניתנה Torah, but it's ניתחחדשה halacha. Meaning he assumes that the reason of L'meidim Torah, Mikodem Matan Torah, the reason the Gemara has the rhetorical question is because of the line in the Bavli. You can't learn from an event that happened before Matan Torah. L'meidim L'fnei Matan Torah. So that's why the Rambam gets it. But we still don't know what it means. So we know the Rambam source. We're still not exactly sure what it means. But I just gave you, once it's open, there's a fascinating source. So what is the source for Avelus? Yerushalmi has a second source. Anybody see that the Hemshech of Yerushalmi? What does the Yerushalmi suggest? What's the second approach of the Yerushalmi? Somebody want to suggest? Yeah, Avram?
That Hashem told Aaron and his sons to, so to speak, sit Shiva, it seems like, for 7 days before Rosh Chodesh Nisan, before Nadav and Avihu died, and Hashem was telling them to sit Shiva before they died.
Right. So
since Hashem knows So since Hashem knows the future, then Hashem can have them sit Shiva beforehand, but we have to do it afterwards because we don't know when a person's going to die.
Right, so it's a remez. They didn't know that this was going to be Shiva. Right, this was the 7 days right before, at the end of Parshas Tzav, but it was before, just like, and the comparison is amazing, just like Hashem sat Shiva for the world before the Mabul. Right, there's a Rashi in Bereshis, which we're probably familiar with, that the Mabul was delayed 7 days. And Rashi goes, why was the Mabul delayed 7 days? Remember that Rashi? Because there was the Shiva for Musu Shelach. That's Rashi in Bereshis. This Yerushalmi is a different opinion. Yerushalmi says, no, HaKadosh Baruch Hu was sitting Shiva for the world. What do you mean? It's before the world was destroyed. Shiva's afterwards. No, it says Yerushalmi. We only sit Shiva afterwards because we don't know what's going to happen. Human beings. But if we would know, Rahman al-Itzlan, it would be even beforehand. It would be mourning once we know it's going to happen. That's the Yerushalmi. Just like Hashem, Shomer Olamo. He said Shiva for his world. 7 days. You should sit for your brother. Not that they knew. Hashem literally didn't tell them this. But that's what was in a deeper sense. And the Gemara asks, how do you know that Hashem set Shiva for the world? And then the Gemara says, is that appropriate? Is that appropriate? Hashem, a human being who doesn't know what's going to be, does not sit Shiva until afterwards. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu knows, and therefore he said Shiva beforehand. Okay, for a prize in Shamayim, there's one other place in Tanakh, in Jewish history, where somebody acted like this. Somebody sat Shiva, so to speak, before the event took place. Okay, we need the shlushas in the shir, aren't they like
Yechezkel?
What?
Was he Yechezkel?
When? Maybe. I'm just thinking of one. Maybe there are others. The story after David and Bathsheba. Remember what happened? Hashem says there's going to be a baby that's going to be born and the baby is going to die. And David, when the baby was very ill, he sits on the floor and he doesn't shower, he doesn't do anything. Right when the baby dies, he gets up, he goes, takes a shower, and he acts regular. They say David HaMelech knew from Hashem that the baby was going to die. So it was Ke'ilu, like HaKadosh Baruch Hu mourning the world. It was like David HaMelech, for this son, for this baby, that he knew what was going to happen. That's one example in Sefer Shmuel where it comes up. But either way, that's the second makkah of the Yerushalmi. It's not our issue. But we need the first line. Torah. So what does that mean? Our first question is, what is the principle of ניתנה Torah ונתחחדשה הלכה? Number one. And number two, we have a problem. Because there are many, many examples. There are 40 examples in Chazal. I gave you 5. But there are many examples where we learn halacha from before Matan Torah. So the Yerushalmi is so clear. Oh, it can't be examples. But we learn halacha from before Matan Torah. So, for example, the Gemara in Tainus. Right, I gave you the Gemara in Tainus on Daf Yud Beis. Yud Beis Amid Aleph. Sorry, is it Yud Beis Amid Aleph? Yeah, the Gemara says here, Yud Aleph Amid Aleph. Yud Aleph Amid Aleph. The Gemara says, Amarei Shlakish, Aser la'adam l'shamish mitasu b'shnei ravon. A person is not allowed to be with their wives during a time of famine, and this sorrows for the world. Before the famine came. And therefore you see, I got this question about a month and a half ago. I got there was a discussion on this rabbi chat that I was on. When this we learned from this Memra, when the tsaretz for the world, husband and wife shouldn't be together. What about during Corona? What about during the tsaretz a few weeks ago when it was Halavai should keep getting better when it was really bad, right? So do we apply this? It's not a famine, but it's it's very the whole world is tsaretz. Well, the answer was no. The answer was we don't apply it. Havud lalosif. We don't add on any extra xeris. It's hard enough, and husbands and wives need to have that connection. Especially during difficult times. So, but anyway, what is interesting, never had a shaila related to that. But again, that you learn from Yosef HaTzadik. Ephraim and Menashe born before. What do you mean? That was in Mitzrayim. How can you learn halacha from times in Mitzrayim? One, or the Gemara in Moed Katan. Remember Tosfos in Moed Katan I gave you to look at. On Daf Chesam Beis. Chesam Beis. What's the Gemara talking about there? Ein ma'arvin simcha b'simcha. You can't get married on Yontif. It's great. Everybody's off anyway. Take off Chol Hamoed. I'll just get married on Chol Hamoed. It'll all work out. So what does the Gemara say? No, you can't do that. Ein ma'arvin simcha b'simcha. You can't make simchas. You can't make simchas. But why? Why? Says Tosfos. The Tam Yerushalmi Darish Midchsiv Malei Shavu Azos. What's the source? Lavan. But Lavan tells Yaakov, Malei Shavu Azos, finish this Sheva Brachas, right? Before you can't marry, you can't make him marry two women, right? Shouldn't marry two women with overlapping Sheva Brachas. Not a good idea. Malei Shavu Azos. So again, the Tosfos then gives a svara. Your slave has to be open. Again, Yerushalmi, ein ma'arvin simcha b'simcha. And that's the Yerushalmi itself. Same Yerushalmi. It says, how can you learn anything from before Ma'amad or Sinai? Quote, this makar by Lavan or Yavamis. What was the context of the Gemara in Yavamis? Did anybody see the Gemara in Yavamis? I gave you Daf Samach Daled. Anybody see that Gemara yet? All right, it's Gemara about Avram Avinu. Avram Avinu, after living 10 years with Sarah, Samach Daled Amar Aleph. Nasa Isha V'Shazei Masha Eser Shanim V'Lo Yalda. A man is with a woman married for 10 years. The Gemara said, Yotzi V'Yiteng Suba. She get divorced. Why? He's not going to have a kid. Lo Zachli Wanas Mimena. It's a Misapuravu. Right, we're not saying this is Lamaisa today, but this is what the Gemara says. Avishain Rai Ladavar Zeicha Ladavar. Mikates Eser Kshanim Lasheves Avram Beretz Kanan. Avram Avinu waited 10 years. Right, we waited 10 years. So then, also again, someone that's learned out from the time period before Ma'amad Har Sinai. So we have Lavan, we have Avraham, we have Yosef. Right, the next page in Yavamis, Samach Chema Beis. Mutter Lashanos Mipnei Hashalom. You're allowed to lie to keep the peace. Where do we know that from? Who teaches us that? Rashi quotes it ala Torah. Maybe who teaches us that? How do you know? Who?
Yaakov.
Hashem teaches us that. All right, when Hashem goes back to Avraham and says, I told Sarah she's going to have a baby. What did Sarah say? I'm so old, my husband's so old. Hashem didn't repeat that. Hashem didn't repeat that. Right? Mishanim, Ibn Shalom. He wanted to protect the Shalom Bayis. I think we mentioned in the Shalom Bayis year a couple of months ago. How old were Avram and Sarah at this stage? They're like 99 and 89. Still worried about the Shalom Bayis. There's never an end to stop about focusing on Shalom Bayis. They were very old. Okay, but Mishanim B'nai Shalom learned out from Avraham and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. One other one that I gave you to look at because this one's going to be a tricky one. One other one, that's the Gemara in Zvachim. Gemara in Zvachim on Daf Kuf Chesam Beis. The last parak The second last parak in Tvachim is a lot about the Isser of Shchutei Chutz, of bringing a carbon out of the base of Mikdash. So the Gemara says there, everybody with me? We're good? The Gemara says there, that there is a shita of Rabbi Yossi, that the Isser of bringing a carbon, of burning a carbon outside the base of Mikdash, is only if you do it on a Mizbeach. To build a Mizbeach and burn it on top of the Mizbeach. That's the shita of Rabbi Yossi. That's on the Mishnah on Ches on Aleph. Rabbi Yossi I'm sorry. It's not Rabbi Yossi. It's the next line. If you do it on top of the Mizbeach, to build a Mizbeach. Rabbi Shimon Omer, no, do it on the rock, do it anywhere. Tanakama says you got to build a Mizbeach. How do we know that? Amar Afuna my time Chsiv Vayiven Noach Mizbeach Lashem. Maybe it's Rabbi Yossi Shita. I don't remember. Does Noach build a Mizbeach for Hashem? Do you see a Hakrovas carbon on a Mizbeach? So really, the Isser of Shchutei Chutz is learned out, a detail, at least according to one Tana, is learned out from Noach. Wow. So again, that's a Chiddush. I thought you don't learn that from before Ma'amad Har Sinai. So we have our problems worked out for us. Number one, what does the principle mean? ניתנה, תורה, ונתחחדשה, הלכה? And number two, there seem to be many exceptions to the rule. So how do we answer that? How do we answer all those questions? So the secret of the first question is the Rambam in the Pirush Mishnayos and the Chulin. So hopefully some of you got to read that. That is the makar in the sugya. The makar in the sugya is the Rambam in the Pirush Mishnayos and Chulin. But once we're doing that Rambam, we got to do Rashi also. So what's the machlokas about? Chulin tafkufim abeis. What's the Mishnah? What's the machlokas? Aaron, you saw the machlokas? Get to see it yet? You saw the machlokas. Always exciting when there's a detailed machlokas that doesn't seem so exciting. And then you uncover it and you realize, wow, this is the secret. This is the secret to a lot. Right? What's the machlokas about? It's about gid hanasheh of a non-kosher animal. If I eat the gid hanasheh of a non-kosher animal, how many averas do I get? I eat the gid hanasheh of a horse. So I get the avera of horse. But do I get the avera of gid hanasheh also? Again, this is the sugya of ein isser chal al isser, which is a big topic which the Gemara touches on. This is the machlokas tanoim. Machlokas tanoim. And what are those? The next 5 minutes, if you ever have to give a Dvar Torah any day of the year, these next 5 minutes are back pocket because this has to do with Torah. So any day of the year, you could just say this Mishnah, Rashi, Rambam, or just Mishnah, Rambam. It says the Mishnah, the Rabbanan hold that Gid HaNosheh is only by kosher animals, not by non-kosher animals. By the Gid HaNosheh of a non-kosher animal, how many averas do I get? With your fingers, you can tell me? How many averas do I get according to the Rabbanan? One avera. So one avera, not kosher. Yehuda Omer, af titmeya. No, it says you get two averas. Two averas. You get not kosher, and you get Gid HaNosheh. You read this Mishnah, not so exciting. The detail in sciatic nerve issues. Amr of Yehuda, the Mishnah continues. Unusual for the Mishnah to get the whole conversation. Hello, Mibnei Yaakov Nesa Gid HaNosheh. Rabbi Yehuda says the Gid HaNosheh is also already from Bnei Yaakov. You look at Parshas Vayishlach. Look at Vayishlach, and it already says after the story where Yaakov fought the Malach, and the Malach hit him in the leg, and he was limping. It says that Yaakov was limping. Therefore, Al Kain Lo Yochlu Bnei Yisrael Gid HaNosheh. So the brothers, the Shvatim, did not eat Gid HaNosheh, and they were allowed to eat not kosher. The brothers ate horse. They could have eaten horse. The brothers were allowed to eat horse, but they couldn't eat Gid HaNosheh. What do you see from there? Says Rabbi Yehuda, that Gid HaNosheh applies to non-kosher animals. Because at that time, they were eating not kosher, and there was still an isser of Gid HaNosheh. Answers the Gemara, one of the most mysterious lines in all of Shas Mishnayos. Amrulo, Sinai ne'emar ela shenechta bimkomo. Rabbanan say back to Rabbi Yehuda, don't bring me any rayas from that story, from the Shvatim. Because the Sinai ne'emar, let's just translate the words. That pasuk was said at Har Sinai, ela shenechta bimkomo. But it was written in its spot. What are the Rabbanan saying to Rabbi Yehuda? It was said, don't bring me, I don't care that the brothers didn't get an Asher. That's not a raya for me. Because the pasuk was said at Sinai, at Har Sinai, but it was written in its spot. What does that mean? What does that mean? A Rashi. Anybody see the Rashi? Rashi, Chul, and Kuf from the base. Each of these shitas in the Rishonim is a Chiddush Gadol Ma'od. Rashi and the Rambam. Rashi says, pasuk zeh is hero olav b'sinai nemar. This pasuk that warns us not to eat an asher was given at Har Sinai. Va'ad Sinai lo huzaru. Until Har Sinai, there was no azhara not to eat an asher. The pasuk did not exist in Parshas Vayishlach until the time of Har Sinai. The brothers ate Gid Hanosha, according to Rashi. Rashi holds that the machlokes Rabbi Yehuda and Chachamim is a historical machlokes. Rabbi Yehuda says the brothers did not eat Gid Hanosha. The Rabbanan say they did. It was just that when Moshe Rabbeinu was given the Torah at Har Sinai, and he was told, well, no more Gid Hanosha, because of what happened to Yaakov, Moshe put the pasuk back next to the story where it took place. The brothers did not eat Gid Hanosha. Brothers ate Gid Hanosha. Ela shenachta bimkomo la'achar shenemar b'Sinai. V'kasav v'sider Moshe saTorah kasav ha'mikra zel ha'maisa. He put it in al kein huzru b'nei Yisrael achrei chen shelo yachlu gid. B'nei Yisrael, not b'nei Yaakov. B'nei Yisrael don't eat Gid Hanosha. But says Rashi, the brothers ate Gid Hanosha. And if you look in the psukim, you didn't see it yet. Take out a chumash in Vayishlach. You read the psukim, it kind of sounds like it. Kind of sounds like Rashi, because you have the whole story with Yaakov, and he comes back and he's limping. He talks to the Malach, and then it says, "Al kain lo yochlu b'nei." It's like it sounds like the narrator is talking. Just read the psukim. After you see that Rashi, and then you read the pasuk. Maybe this is where Rashi got the sense from. It sounds like this pasuk is like narrator. The whole story happened, and this is stuck in there. According to Rashi, this pasuk was put in later. I mean, what do you mean later? The Torah didn't exist until later. The point is that this pasuk, even conceptually, did not exist in Parshas Vayishlach. The brothers ate Gid Hanosha. So the Chachamim say to Rabbi Yehuda, you're wrong. It's not true that the brothers ate Gid Hanosha, and they ate horse, they didn't eat Gid Hanosha. They ate Gid Hanosha. And that's why there's no raya from this story, according to you, Rabbi Yehuda. Shitas Rashi. Again, one has to be very careful when one says over this Rashi, because there are heretics out there that say a number of parts of the Torah were added in. You know, some human being wrote Sefer Dvarim, and this human being wrote Sefer Bamidbar, and some of it might be, hey, you see Rashi already says, Moshe added in. Moshe didn't add in. And Hashem gave him the Torah. He said, put this pasuk there. It wasn't added in after Ma'amad Har Sinai. But again, people might use this and say, oh, you see? Chas v'shalom. Chas v'shalom. Moshe emes v'saraso emes. It all comes from Har Sinai. That is all Rashi. But then we have the Rambam. I sent you the Rambam on the Shir chat, just that you all have it, and it's a little bit bigger if you didn't get to see it inside. The Rambam has a different shot, and that's the basis of our sugya, and the basis to understand 5 different Rambams, as we'll see. The Rambam says on this pasuk, what does it mean when the Rabbanan say back to Rabbi Yehuda? Again, I'll say it again. If there's anything you remember from this sugya, it's this Rambam. You have to take with you. Says the Rambam. What do the Rabbanan mean when they say, Yehuda, don't bring me any rayas? Sinai Nemar, El Shenachta Bimkomo. It was said at our Sinai. But it was Nechta Bimkomo, says the Rambam. Sim Libcha, the Klal Gadol Azeh Hamuva B'Mishtazu. Listen up, says the Rambam. Put your heart. It's like somebody, I'm telling you the secret of life, says the Rambam. Sim Libcha Le'ikar Gadol Azeh. Listen to this Mishnah. Who Amar B'Sinai is a little different girsa. He says B'Sinai Ne'esar, not Ne'emar. Okay, either way. B'Sinai Ne'esar, V'hu Sha'ata Tzarich Ladas. You have to know. Shekol Ma Sha'anu Nizhar Mimenu. O Osim Oso Hayom. Anything that we do today, says the Rambam, or don't do today. Ein Anu Osim Zos. El B'Beit Tzivui Hashem Al Yidei Moshe. Why do we do anything in life today or not do anything? One moment was the determining factor of our life. Why is anything obligatory upon us? The Rambam says, Maimed Har Sinai. That determined everything for the beginning of the halachic Mesorah. Lo mipnei she'Hashem tziva b'kach l'neviim shekadmuhu. Not because Hashem told his Nevi'im before Maimed Har Sinai. Dugma l'kach. For example, says the Rambam, Ein anu ochlim Ever min achai. We don't eat Ever min achai. Why? Because Noach didn't eat Ever min achai. Wrong, says the Rambam. We don't eat Ever min achai because Hashem told Moshe to tell the Jews not to eat Ever min achai. Lo mipnei she'Hashem asar al bnei Noach Ever min achai. Ela b'nei Moshe asar aleinu Ever min achai. Mashin itztave b'Sinai she'yishor Ever min achai asar. Says the Rambam, to put it into English, is the difference between the history of a mitzvah and why a mitzvah is obligatory upon us. The history of Ever min achai, yeah, it started with Noach, and it was passed down to the generations. That has nothing to do with our obligation. The history of a mitzvah, fine. The reason that it's obligatory upon us is Maimed Har Sinai. Because Moshe Rabbeinu told us, Hashem told Moshe, and Moshe told us at Har Sinai. That is why we do mitzvos. And that's why we're not allowed to do averos. Why do we do Mila? Is it because of Abraham? No, says the Rambam. Hashem tzivanu al yedei Moshe. Hashem told Moshe to tell Bnei Yisrael, do Mila Moshe Mal Abraham. Like Abraham did. Yes, Abraham was the first one to get bris Mila. But nationally, the reason we have to do it is because Har Sinai. And here's the key line for us here in the Mishnah. What are the Rabbanan saying back to Rabbi Yehuda? What did Rabbi Yehuda say? Hey, the brothers didn't make it anasha. Do you see it applies to non-kosher animals? Say the Rabbanan back, what happened before Har Sinai has no halachic relevance to us. Just because the brothers maybe did hanasha apply to non-kosher animals then, but that doesn't mean that it has to apply to non-kosher animals to us. V'chein gid hanasha ein anu nimshachin bo acharei iser Yaakov Avinu elatzivui Moshe Rabbeinu. Alo tireh. Then he brings the bomb raya from the Gemara. Gemara in the end of Makos. The Gemara says, Tireh Amram Sheish Meosu Shlosh Esrei Mitzvos. Remember Moshe Misinai. How many mitzvos did Moshe give us? 613. Not 606 with 7 from before. Moshe gave us 613. Everything comes from Moshe Rabbeinu at Har Sinai. The history of mitzvos could be before Har Sinai. The reason that we have to do mitzvos, our halachic Mesorah, starts at Har Sinai and not before. That's the Rambam's pshat of the Rabbanan. It's hard. Again, what Rashi says is beautiful and a tremendous chiddush. And it's we don't like to say The Rashi, it's a machlokas tanam about history. So they're arguing about. Meaning those are one of the cases where we know the sugi of elu ve'elu divrei l'kim chayim. Right? These and these, there's merit to every shita. There's a Rashi in Ksubis. Go look it up. It's daf nun vav and aleph. Nun vav or nun zayin and aleph. I don't remember which one. You'll see it on the bottom. I'll look it up. Rashi tells us nun zayin. Oh, nun zayin. Nun zayin and aleph. Rashi says elu ve'elu divrei l'kim chayim applies to every machlokas unless there's a reality. One of them's right, one of them's wrong. Like if there's a machlokas, what a Rebbe said. Did he say mutter or usser? Somebody's wrong. You can't say elu ve'elu, right? If it's 12 o'clock in the afternoon and somebody says it's daytime, somebody says it's nighttime, one of them's right, one of them's wrong. So by a historical machlokas, it's very hard to say elu ve'elu. According to Rashi, that's what it is. Rabbi Yehuda says that the brothers the Rabbanan said did into the Rabbanan said they did. Okay, that's also what drove the Rambam. The Rambam is clear. Our halachic Masorah starts at Har Sinai, and that's why even though Noshe might have applied to non-kosher animals before Maimon Har Sinai, that has nothing to do with us right now. Questions? Everybody's just blown away by that Rambam. It's so clear. Your life will never be the same after hearing that Rambam. We're good? Continue? If you think about it then, if this is true, then we understand the Rambam in Hilchos Avel. The Rambam in Hilchos Avel is clear. What did the Rambam say? The Rambam said the brothers set Shiva for Yaakov. How can I say that Avelis is only one day? Avelis should be 7 days. Answer the Rambam. ניתנה Torah ונתחחדשה halacha. Again, the Rambam did not quote that here. This is exactly what he's holding. Just because the brothers sat Shiva, does not mean that we sit Shiva. What was right then is right. And that has nothing to do with us. Again, the history of the mitzvah and the reason that mitzvahs are obligatory upon us. A big difference between the two.
Rabbi.
Yeah.
So how do we see that in certain situations that the way that the avos did mitzvahs affects how we do them in halacha? And
so we're gonna have to talk about that. I mean, we have to see. I mean, we have to get back to our question about learning things from before Matan Torah. Yeah, that's going to be we're going to have to figure that out. Where else do we see this? I gave you another Rambam. Two Rambams. Gemara from the fourth parak in Brachos. Right, many are familiar with the Gemara. Chavav. Why are there three tefillos? Tefillos keneged what? What are they keneged? Yehuda. What are they keneged? Keneged.
The avos.
So there's a machlokas. Machlokas amoraim, where the tefillos are keneged avos, like Yehuda just said. Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. Avram is Shachris. Yitzchak is Mincha. Yaakov is Ma'ariv. Or, what's the other day? Not keneged avos.
Karbanos.
Karbanos, good. Also, Karbanos. It's a machlokas in the Gemara. Machlokas in the Gemara. The Gemara doesn't have any nafkaminas really. The Gemara ends up saying that really everybody has to agree to Karbanos. But if you look in the Rambam quotes both opinions. Both opinions. The Rambam in Hilchos Tefillah quotes Keneged Karbanos. Perek Aleph Halacha Hey. Rambam says in Perek Aleph Halacha Hey of Hilchos Tefillah, Tiknu she minyan atfilos keminyan akarbanos. Shtei tfilos b'chol yom. Keneged shnei tmidin. Shachrit mincha. Chen b'chol yom sheish bo karban musaf. Tiknu bo tfilah shlishas. Keneged karban musaf. Keneged the karban musaf. Another tfilah. Right? That's musaf. And then the tefillah, somebody had to mute. Okay. Tefillah keneged Hamishal Boker. He can nikri Tefillah Shachris. V'nebayim Tefillah Mincha. Fine. V'chein iskinu shehu adam mispalel Tefillah achas balayla. Sorry, very tamish. Shobein arbayim necholam kol balayla necholu, and that's Tefillah's arvis. Fine. The Ran quotes keneged tmidim tiknun. Keneged the karbanos. But if you look in Hilchas Malachim, the Rambam also quotes Keneged Avos. The Rambam in Perek Tes of Hilchas Malachim, Perek Tes Halacha Aleph, the Rambam quotes the history of mitzvos. The Rambam says there, Adam had 6 mitzvos. It's a very important Rambam, just historically. Make sure, again, seems like now that most of the time people are doing the Makaris after this year, but either way, whatever it is, see these Rambams. The Rambam says, where's Avram Avinu? Nitztava Yeser Elu B'Mila V'Hu is Palal Shachris. Yitzchak Kefesh Meiser V'Hosted Tefillah Acheres L'Bnos Hayom. Yaakov is Palal Arvis. To ask the Maritz Chayes was one of the great Achronim. He's one of the last ones to get into the back of the Gemara. Tzvi Hirsch Chayes, late 1800s. He and the Rishash are 2 of the later ones that get into the back of the Gemara. Everything, he always has something interesting to say. But the Maritz Chayes on that Gemara, and also Rav Soloveitchik says, after the Rambam quote both opinions. The Machlokas in the Gemara. After the Rambam in Hilchos Tefillah quote Keneged Karbanos. And the Rambam in Hilchos Malachim quote Keneged Avos. It's a Machlokas. It could even be nafkaminas between the shitos. Explains the Maritz Chayes, explains Rav Soloveitchik, it's this Rambam. This Rambam is the answer. Really, the Rambam holds Keneged Karbanos. And that's what he says in Hilchos Tefillah. In Hilchos Tefillah, the Rambam says, Keneged Karbanos. That's the reason the obligation of Tefillah has to do with Karbanos. 3 times. What's Hilchos Malachim about? The history of Tefillah and the history of all mitzvot. That's the context. If you look at that Rambam in the Perek Tes of Hilchos Tefillah, it's all about history of mitzvot. Al Shisha Dvarim Nitztava Adam Arishon. What's the 6 mitzvahs of Adam? Avodah Zarah, Berachas Hashem. Even though we have a Mesorah from Moshe, it's the history of mitzvos there. So that's how the Rambam could quote both. The history of mitzvos versus the reason it's obligatory. Right, that Rambam in Pirushim Mishnayos and Chulin answers the Rambam for Hilchos Avel and answers the Rambam in Hilchos Melachim and Tefillah. Question is, where does the Rambam get this phrase from? ניתנה Torah v'Nitchachadשה halacha. It only appears in nowhere in, at least not that we're looking at, in Yerushalmi. It appears in Bavli, right? Let's let me. I'm not sure. I have to search it. I didn't remember. It appears twice in Bavli. I don't remember if it appears at all in Yerushalmi, except the time that we saw. Similar of, can you learn anything from before Matan Torah? Okay, but either way, where does it appear in Bavli? The other place, Maseches Shabbos, Kuf Lamed Hey. Did anybody get to see that Gemara yet? Fascinating Gemara. Shabbos Kuf Lamed Hey. That is the other place in Shas where this line appears. Gemara on the bottom of Kuf Lamed Hey and Aleph. Machlokas Rav Asi and Abaya. Rav Asi and Abaya. Very halacha l'maisa machlokas. Very halacha l'maisa, as we'll see. Rav Asi holds. Kol she'imo tmei leida nimo l'shmona. Any woman who is, we know a woman is tmeya after she has a baby. So if a woman is tmeya leida, then her baby's son gets a bris milah on day 8. Because the psukim say, "Ishikitas riyav yolda zachar v'tama shivas yamim v'yamashmin yimol b'sar alaso." Kol she'eni mo tmeya leida inim l'shmona. If the mother is not tmeya leida, and the baby gets his milah not on day 8, but on day 1, on the day that he's born. Like the Goyim. Most Goyim get circumcised in the hospital on day 1 nowadays. Rav Asi says Bris Milah on day 8 is only when the mother is Tmei Leida, based on Tzmichas HaPsukim in Parshas Tazria. If the mother is not Tmei Leida, the Bris Milah on day 1. What's an example of a woman who's not Tmei Leida? Anybody? What's an example of a woman not Tmei Leida? Yeah, Naftali Eli.
C-section.
C-section, good. Baby born cesarean section, the mother is not Tmei Leida. So my oldest son was born cesarean section. He, according to Ravasi, gets his bris milah on day 1, the day he's born, not on day 8. That's Ravasi Shita. Omar. Abaya says wrong. There's no connection between Tumas Leida and bris milah on day 8. Why? Oros Rishonim Yochichu. The earlier generations would show that Ravasi, you are wrong. Why? Yitzchak Avinu had his bris milah on day 8. Sarah Imenu did not have laws of Tumah. Okay, there's a medrash, she became a Nida. She didn't have laws of Tumas Leida. So Abaya says, you see from Yitzchak Avinu, bris milah on day 8, even though no Tumas Leida. They're not connected. Abaya says, okay, bris milah on day 8, period. What does Ravasi answer Abaya? Omar Le, 4 words. Nitna Torah and Tzachadcha Halacha. Here it's Ravasi says, don't bring me rayas from Yitzchak Avinu. Nitna Torah and Tzachadcha Halacha. Right? We don't need to learn, and maybe we're not allowed to learn from Yitzchak Avinu. Says Ravasi, we don't paskin that way. Nitna Torah and Tzachadcha Halacha. That's where the source is. By the way, what do we paskin in this case? Ravasi Abaya, you know what we paskin like? Sveika Dedina. The Rush here says we're not sure. So we're machmir on both sides. Meaning, you could do a bris milah late, you can't do a bris milah early. If there's a suffix, let's say a regular, let's say a baby is born on Tuesday night. Not sure if it's Tuesday or Wednesday, it's Bein Hashmashas. The bris milah is the following Wednesday, not the following Tuesday, just to be safe. Because you do a bris milah a day late, that's fine. You do it a day early, it doesn't work. You got to cause bleeding again on day 8. You can't do a bris milah early. So we're not sure. Who's right, Ravasi and Abaya. So if a baby's born cesarean section, his bris milah is on day 8, not on day 1. But what if day 8 is Shabbos? And we're also machmir that you can't do the bris milah that day. You wait till the following day, Sunday, day 9, which is for sure wrong. But you can only Shabbos only milah b'zmanu with Tocha Shabbos. You don't know if this is milah b'zmanu. So we're machmir steak the din on both sides in this machlokas between Ravasi and Abaya. That's where we see Nitna Torah and Tzachadcha Halacha. It comes up here by Tumas Leida. But again, the yesod of the Rambam is Hilchas Avel. The Rambam says it by Avel. He says it by Kiranasha. He says it by Tefillah. All these cases, the Rambam says it because the Torah was renewed at Har Sinai. That's when the source of our halachic Besora. So this is something that I've spoken about in the past, but I didn't recognize. The Maritz Chaya says there's another 2 Rambams that are L'Shitasa. There's another 2 Rambams that are L'Shitasa. The Maritz Chaya, he's famous for his, not famous, but he's in the back of the Gemara. There's also 2 volumes. I'm sure they have it in the library. Called Kisvei Maritz Chaya. He wrote a lot on Torah Shebal Peh topics. He lived in the 1800s. He was big, in the beginning of the Reform movement. A lot of his Svarim, you just look at the table of contents in his Svarim. It's all about B'nai Noach and Torah Shebal Peh and the Koach of the Rabbanan. Oh, these are a lot of his topics. I'm going to send you a picture. One of them is called this. Here it is. Called Kisvei Maritz Chaya. So 2 volumes. But anyway, he writes there. He puts together another 2 Rambams. There's a Rambam in the end of Perek Ches, Hilchas Malachim. The end of Perek Ches, the Rambam says, much discussed Rambam. but I never put it together. The Rambam says, Goyim b'nei Noach, that are righteous, go to Olam Haba. That's a discussion in the Gemara. The Rambam Paskins, they go to Olam Haba. Kol makabel sheva mitzvos v'nishar la'asosan harizeh machasidi yomos ha'olam. Somebody's makbid on the sheva mitzvos machasidi yomos ha'olam yesh lo chilek Olam Haba. They go to Olam Haba. V'hu sheyakabel osan v'yas osan, as long as they do them mipnei shetziva b'en HaKadosh Baruch Hu b'Torah, because Hashem commanded in the Torah. Hodiyunu ayde Moshe Rabbeinu, and Moshe Rabbeinu gave the Torah and gave all of this information to the world. But if they just do the Sheva Mitzvos because it makes sense to them, nothing to do with Torah. So and they're very smart. That's not called Chasidei Yomos Ha'olam. That's not called a pious Gentile. If they're doing Islam because it makes sense to them. That's the Rambam that the B'nai Noach have to, so to speak, have a Lishma element when they do the Sheva Mitzvahs B'nai Noach in order to get into Olam Haba. Says the Kesef Mishnah, where does the Rambam get this from? One word, says the Kesef Mishnah. Svara. Oh. Svara. Rabbi,
we missed that last point.
Based on his own svara. This is the end of Perek Ches. From where? From where did you miss?
Could you start again with the Rambam and the Kesef Mishnah, please?
The Kesef Mishnah says, what is the source of the Rambam? One word, svara. Svara is logical. Pretty amazing. This is logical that the B'nai Noach have to do with something based on Har Sinai. What does Har Sinai have to do with B'nai Noach? That's the kasha. What does Har Sinai have to do with B'nai Noach? The Rambam says they have to do it. L'shem, Moshe gave the Torah. What did B'nai Noach have been B'nai Noach for 5,780 years? Nothing's changed, has it? It's all the same. The B'nai Noach beforehand or the B'nai Noach now. Says the Maharatz Chais, you know what you see from this Rambam? Not only did the Jewish halachic Mesorah start at Har Sinai, the world halachic Mesorah started at Har Sinai. The Rambam assumes and understands that the moment of Har Sinai determined for all human beings how to behave. For all human beings, what God wants from them, not just Bnei Yisrael. I'll send it. I'll read it to you. It's from this other sefer. It's an article called "Ein Lamedim Mikodem Man Torah." Okay, very appropriate for our sugya. He says, "Harei Yisrael kodem shenchilam Hashem Torah Chamuda." They saw also at Sheva Mitzvahs, but it changed at Har Sinai. It changed for everyone. Just like Moshe was the shliach for Jews, Moshe is called Boy Olam al Sheva Mitzvahs. Just like we have to believe in all the mitzvahs from Moshe Rabbeinu and Hashem, so to the Goyim have to believe in the mitzvahs, their mitzvos from Hashem and Moshe Rabbeinu. That's the Maharatz Chais, but again, it's the Rambam. The Rambam, the chiddush of this Rambam is that not only does he connect Bnei Yisrael to Maimon Har Sinai, he connects all Bnei Noach to Maimon Har Sinai. Why do Bnei Noach have to do what they have to do? Their seven categories, because of Har Sinai. That's a chiddush. That's a chiddush that the Rambam adds here. So really, the Maharatz Chais says it. It's not just svara like the Kesef Mishnah says. The Rambam says it based on svara. No, the Rambam says it based on the Mishnah in Chulin. What does the Mishnah in Chulin say? Sinai nemar al shenechta bimkomo. Har Sinai is the source. The Rambam understands that as not only the source for Jews, it's the source for mankind. It's the source for mankind. And that's a Chiddush Gadol, but that's how the Rambam seems to understand that Mishnah in Meseches Chul. Okay, maybe should we do one more Rambam, or should we? You want to absorb what we did? Do one more Rambam.
One more.
Want to vote? One more Rambam. There's one more that also fits into this, and then we'll stop. And tomorrow we'll probably have Shir. Is there Shir Chloe? Have you heard anything?
Nothing yet.
Nothing yet. Okay, I'm assuming there'll be some kind of Shir then tomorrow. Okay. I'm guessing that I'll give you time to get ahead in the Marmakomos. I just added on a bunch. So I assume we won't have regular Gemara Shir tomorrow. We'll see. But there's one more Rambam. You know there are two mitzvos. There are two mitzvos that non-Jews are not allowed to do. Two mitzvos. What are they? Learning Torah, keeping Shabbos. In the Gemara, there's separate halachas. Heard that from two separate psukim. Is not allowed to keep Shabbos, is not allowed to learn Torah. The Rambam puts them together. The Rambam puts them together, A, and B, the Rambam gives a reason for them, putting them together. Fascinating Rambam. The Rambam says in Perek Yud Halacha Tes. Perek Yud Halacha Tes. The Rambam says, Goy sha'asek b'Torah chayim misa. A goy that learns Torah is chayim misa. Fine. I'll let her learn Torah. Lo yasok ela b'sheva mitzvah shalem b'lvad. Only sheva mitzvahs. V'chein. V'chein is always an important word in the Rambam. Next halachos, it's crucial. He doesn't have to connect anything. He connects to halachos. We always have to say, whoa, okay, what's he connecting? V'chein. Goy sheshavatz afilu b'yom yemos achol. If a goy keeps Shabbos, even if he keeps Tuesday as Shabbos, it doesn't have to be Shabbos. If a goy keeps one day of the week with an Isra Malacha like Shabbos, im aso so la'atzmo k'mo Shabbos chayim misa. Insur achlomar im asa moed la'atzmo. Shabbos and Torah, Rambam puts in the same halacha. In the same halacha with the v'chein. And then he adds beautiful words. Klalo shel davar, ein manichin osan l'chadesh das, olasos mitzvos la'atzman midaitan. Nobody's allowed to make up their own religion. You can't make up your own religion. You have two choices in life. A guy has two choices. Either become a Jew, that's a choice that you have. Or just do the ones mitzvahs that you're supposed to do. Is Bal Tosif and Bal Tigra for Goyim. But it's only it's two. If a guy wants to wear tzitzis, there's no isser for him to wear tzitzis. It's Bal Tosif and Bal Tigra, these two. Why? Because these two I'm just adding. These two, Torah and Shabbos, define who we are. So if a guy keeps Shabbos or learns Torah, that's a new religion. Because those two are so fundamental. It's like you're not a guy anymore if you're learning Torah. You could be a guy and eat kosher. You could be a guy and put up a makkah. You can't be a guy and learn Torah. You're not a guy anymore. You can't be a guy and keep Shabbos. You're something else. And you're not allowed to be something else unless you come all the way. Again, where did the Rambam get this from? Number one, where did he get it? Where did he get the idea of putting them together? And number two, coming up with this svara. Again, the Maratz Chai says it a little bit, but I'm adding, it's from this Rambam, this same Yisod. At Har Sinai, the Rambam says, this is what I want from people. I want Jews to do this. I want Goyim to do this. It's a package. And you have one of two choices. You can't take something that'll create a new religion. It all flows from this one yesod of the Rambam, that Har Sinai was the crucial defining moment. ניתנה, Torah, ונתחחדשה, halacha. Right? That's why the Rambam put it together, because the whole thing was a package for Goyim and for Jews. Just thinking now, maybe we say every morning in Az Yashir, right? And that was at Kriyas Yam Tov. But we say that all the nations of the world were very scared at Har Sinai. They didn't know what was going on. They didn't know what was happening. They were shaking. Maybe part of why they were scared and in awe was because Har Sinai had to do with them also. It wasn't just about the Jews. Maybe they didn't like the idea of commitment. Maybe that's why they were shaking. We said Na'aseh v'nishma. They were shaking because Har Sinai was for them too. And maybe they weren't ready for their Na'aseh v'nishma. That's the Rambam. Har Sinai was a defining moment for all of world history. Okay. Okay, I guess we'll stop here. But go over, if you didn't see it inside yet, the Rambam in the Pirushim Mishnayos and Chulin, and all these other Rambams, the Rambam about Havana, or Bnei Noach, the Rambam about Shabbos and learning, and a couple of the other sources that I gave you. But again, it's a very exciting sugya. Again, it's a little different than some of the Yerusha topics that we've been doing.